Wow, it's finally here. The plane that needs no introduction. The iniBuilds A350 for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 for those who are still into that. But yeah, it's here. I'm super excited. I know a lot of you guys are excited as well. We're gonna be flying this Delta A350 from Toulouse, France, here at the assembly plant at Toulouse, France, and we're delivering this brand new A350 to Delta headquarters in Atlanta. We have about a 10-hour flight ahead of us. We're starting off here, I think it's about 4 a.m. local time here in France, and we should be landing probably early morning in Atlanta. But we'll start off by doing one final pre-departure inspection and a good look at the exterior of this beautiful bird. There's so much to uncover. We'll start from the nose. So right here underneath the nose gear, you actually hit this lever right here, and it opens up the main landing gear door, and we can actually take a sneak peek inside there and take a look at what we got going on. I mean, look at the detail. Look at that. Just take it in. And this is we're just getting started, guys. Look at the detail inside the nose gear, and honestly, it even looks good at night as we look nice and close there. And I believe there's different variations of nose lights as well, depending on what aircraft you fly, what config and all that stuff like that. But the actual tires look very good. You can actually kind of tell, I'm not sure if it's going to come through well in the video, we can kind of tell that the bottom of the tire actually has a little bit of a fold in it, as you can see the weight sitting on that main gear. You want to see that throughout the entire aircraft. This is just a sneak peek. This is the first I guess look at the detail that has been throughout the entire plane. I'm gonna try to keep this video as short as possible. It might be a little long because we are gonna kind of dive into a lot of things. This is where the GPU is plugged in right here, and we can actually follow the fuselage along. There's a little camera right there. That's the taxi camera, which is currently not operative. I don't think it's actually supported currently, but hopefully they'll add that later. Let's go see if we can find that the other doors. A few doors underneath here you can actually click on. Here's one right here. I think that is, what is this door? Oh yeah, that's the one for the air conditioning unit. So it uses two, and you can see that plugs in and hooks into the air conditioning unit, and that is actually operational. That is actually going to supply AC to the aircraft. And right next to it, I believe behind it a little bit over here, yeah, this is the one for the air, like not the AC, but like the pressurized air. If you want to do like a ground start, that's what you'll use right there. But there's a lot of little doors and things. Like, I really recommend when you first get your hands on this plane, just hop in walk around mode and just like walk underneath the fuselage, see what all you can find that you can click on. And just behind where the pressured air is, there's another door just behind that right here. And this one is actually the I believe this is the main gear doors. If you click on that, you see that door right there drop down, and we do the same thing on the other side. So again, this is our first delivery flight, so we're just kind of simulate us kind of going through those final checks for Airbus. But look at this. Oh my god, look at the detail. This is crazy. Look at the detail in this gear. I mean, you can see, I mean, they modeled like every single little thing in here. It's really impressive. Very impressive. I mean, I know you're not going to be in there too often, but just knowing that they put that much detail into a plane, you can tell like love and passion was put into this aircraft. But yeah, very, very impressive. I mean, the landing gear, here's the main gear. Again, these are I don't think the brake fans are not actually installed on this one, but you can install brake fans if you want. You can also see the rib. Look at that. Look at the detail on that piping right there. That is impressive. See the brakes there. I mean, come on, man. Some of the best 3D modeling and graphics and attention to detail I have personally seen on any plane ever in flight sim. And trust me, I have flown darn near every plane. I've bought almost every plane that you can buy in flight sim, and that's saying a lot. All right, right behind that main gear door, there's a couple more panels we can open up. One here and one here. And also notice it has sounds as well. So in here, I actually don't remember what this one does. It's purple. I should know what this one does. Honestly, I really should know. It's kind of, I'm forgetting right now. I'll show you guys in the comments. You're like, oh yeah, it's this thing. But yeah, that's there. Can't click on anything in this particular one. But the other one, which is over here, is another panel. And I don't think we can click on anything in this one either. But this is the refueling. This is for refueling. And actually, yes, you can click on the mode select for auto refuel, main refuel. I don't know if that actually like does anything as far as actually fueling the aircraft, but you can at least click it. And I'm all about clicking things. I don't mind if it doesn't do anything necessarily. If I can click it, I can at least, you know, role play or simulate that I've done something, click something. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. And I think that's all that you can actually open. Oh, wait. Oh, one of my favorites. Okay. One of my favorites. We're going to make our way over here to the engine cowling. And I don't know why I love this so much. I used to play Car Mechanic Simulator, and I always wanted an airplane mechanic simulator. And this is the closest thing I think I'm going to get. So look at it. We can open up the engine cowlings on the door. We can inspect the engines. Look at that. That's cool. And if you go to the left side engine, I'm just going to go ahead and jump over all these cables, which you should never do. They teach you not to do that when you do ground crew. Open up this side. On the left engine, number one engine side, you actually get a ladder, which is pretty sweet. And on the other side of it, as we sneak behind this engine, beautiful modeling again, we have our little mechanic guy. And I'm going to name him Raul. our mechanic Raul is actually here making sure everything is ready to go for our first delivery flight to Delta. Delta won't be happy if there's anything wrong with his aircraft. So we're actually going to make our way back. Look at those beautiful engine blades. My God, this plane is just gorgeous. iniBuilds, what are you doing to us? Like, where do they go from here, right? All right, so if you go up here, you can actually look at your, I think that's your hydraulics, I believe. Is that the oil? I'm actually forgetting. I know the answer, and it's just, oh, it's oil. It says it right there. Can I click on this? Oh, wait. Oh, I closed it. Okay, well, no, you can't click on the oil. You can refuel the oil via the EFB in the cockpit, but I don't know that I can actually physically refuel the oil from here, even though the oil cap is there and modeled. But I believe you can also see the hydraulics somewhere. I just don't remember where you see them. But anyways, yeah, so I think everything's good to go. Raul has given us the thumbs up and said, yeah, man, you're good to go. Everything is good. So we are here, as I said, in Toulouse. We're going to head out about 10-hour flight to Atlanta tonight. A very light crew, just a couple pilots, a couple mechanics riding along with us. And let's go ahead and hop into the aircraft and get this baby ready to depart. Oh yeah, before we go inside, there's one more compartment we can open, and that is the potable water service panel. And on the other side, there should be there it is, the waste. So have fun with that. Oh, look at that. They even put a poop emoji right there. That's hilarious. Oh yeah, that new plane smell. We'll take a look at the cabin a little later once we get en route. But for now, let's go ahead and hop into the flight deck. Look at that, the flight deck of the A350, completely cold and dark. And we'll get this thing powered up by going to the overhead, and we'll get all of 4 of our battery switches turned on, as well as our external power, 1 and 2. Screen's coming to life. Listen to that. You can actually hear all of the avionics like clicking on. It's pretty cool. Matter of fact, you can go down to the avionics bay. I can show you that too maybe before we leave. Anyways, let's go to the top. We'll go to IR1, IR2, and IR3. Turn to nav. We'll get our ground controller on, crew supply on. Let's get some lights turned on here. So we'll get the logo light, which is already on, I believe. We have our seatbelt signs to auto, smoker signs auto, no mobile to auto, and emergency exit lights to auto. Not that that really matters. We don't have any passengers on board today. And we'll go straight to the APU today. Since we just have crew on board today, I'll go back here and we'll get our dome lights on so we can see a bit before we depart. Floodlights, integrity lighting, or integral lighting. And I do have a full flight tutorial on this aircraft. So if you want kind of like a better paced video teaching you how to get this thing going and get in the air, check that video out. This is more of a showcase. We kind of check out what I like what I appreciate about this plane the most. But first, let's get this thing started. I mean, it does look good in the dark. It looks really good at night. The night lighting is, yeah, it's top of the line for sure. All right, so what we're gonna do first, we'll jump to our EFB. So the EFB, very well organized. I really like the EFB, very easy to use and set up. I also have a tutorial kind of going through the setup of the EFB and how to calibrate your throttles and stuff like that. So I'm not going to go too deep into that, but we'll get our flight set up. Go to Flight Ops Systems to get our flight set up. We'll import from SimBrief, just like that. And we'll close that out. We'll go to the ground charts now. This is completely, look at this, completely integrated with GSX right here in the EFB. We're not really going to use it much today because, again, we don't have any passengers on board, so there's really no boarding to do. We could request refueling or get some catering for the flight, maybe operate the stairs. That might be kind of cool, but for the most part, we don't really need to do anything here for today's flight, but everything works, trust me, it does work. We do have the Chocks GPU AC unit turned on just like how we did on the outside. Here's the avionics bay lights. So go ahead and turn those on because I want to go down there and show you that. We have toggle slide arming. We got the cargo bays, all can be opened. Yeah, let's go check that out. Matter of fact, let's go here. Let me show you really quick before we get into it. I thought that this was really impressive. Let's shut that. There's the jump seat. Chat, let me know who in chat is gonna be riding the jump seat. Let me know in the comments. So right here is a secret hatch behind the captain's seat. This goes down to the avionics bay. Come on, bro, like this, check this out. Come here, look at this. I'm gonna go downstairs. Check this out. Check this out. They modeled the entire avionics bay of an A3. Like, this looks like it's illegal. Like, I feel like I shouldn't even know about this secret little room with standing room only. Look at this. The batteries are down here. I mean, it's basically a server room down here. Got lights blinking, and this is what you heard earlier when we powered on the aircraft and turned on the external power and batteries. You heard all that clicking came from down here, and it does actually sound like when you, like if I were to do it again, you would actually hear the sound coming from right down here. So yeah, it's basically a flying server, which is pretty impressive. Now, I don't think you can really click on anything down here, but I mean, why would you need to? So, and then right, this door here, which I don't think opens. No, it leads you to the, well, it's not there, but there's a cargo bay behind that. But yeah, so that's pretty darn. I mean, when I first saw this, I was like, no way they modeled the entire freaking avionics bay. And you can actually access this from the ground level. Can I not open this from the inside? I don't think I can. Where it says open right there, you can actually open that up. That'll basically take you to the exterior. That's the belly of the aircraft right there. So pretty cool. We'll go ahead and head back up the stairs. There we go. We'll get that door shut. Nice sound. So lots of things back here. You got the oxygen mask here we can check out. Close that. Yeah, a lot of really cool details in the cockpit and the flight deck here. Anyways, head back. Let's get back to work. Where was I? Got distracted. So yeah, GSX integration, if you have GSX, is built in. It works very, very well. We'll be checking that out in future flights. Let's go to our load sheet and we'll get our aircraft loaded up. This is basically where you go to load your plane. We go to SimBrief import. Everything is kind of like operated around SimBrief. You don't have to use SimBrief. You can put these numbers in by yourself, but why would you want to do that? So we got a full tank on the left, full tank on the right, and I think this is honestly going to be the heaviest flight I've done so far, the longest flight as well. So we'll click on set zero fuel weight to actually set the fuel, or sorry, to set the zero fuel weight, and we'll click on set fuel to set our fuel. That'll load real quick, and boom, we're now set. We're all good to go. Go to our OFP. This will show us all of our flight details. We have our takeoff performance page, loaded landing performance, terminal charts. Wouldn't hurt, since I'm here, might as well go ahead and get some charts here for LFBO here in Toulouse. Go to airport info. I'm gonna hit the pin next to it. I can actually pin that. And for our departure, we're actually planning on doing the Loco 7 hotel. I'm gonna click on departure. Let's go and find that hotel right here. We'll hit pin on that. And when I click on the pin now, I can pull those up very quickly and nicely. So we're expecting runways 14 right. We'll talk about all that a little bit later. Let's go hop into our FMS, get the aircraft ready to go for our flight today. So, over to the FMS. And we'll go down here, we'll click on the init button to get going. We'll click on company flight plan request and get our flight plan in from dispatch, aka SimBrief. As always, that's going to import our entire flight plan for our entire flight. Again, our flight today is from Toulouse, France to Atlanta, Georgia. It's about, I think, 9 hours 42 exact block time. We'll click on receive here. Receive, insert. There we go, and that's all imported. So cool. We'll go to departure now, and we'll put our departure in. As I just said, from a 1-4 right. So what we're expecting for departure, our SID is going to be the Loco something hotel. To slide down till we find that one, Loco 6 hotel. We'll hit enter. There we go. Our transition is nothing. We'll hit temporary flight plan, import that, and we'll go ahead and put our arrival in there too. Why not? We'll knock it out right now, so we don't have to worry about it later, but it may change. ILS 26 right, approach, ILS 26 right, there we go. Haynes is going to be our go via for our arrival. Again, that may change, and then our actual arrival is going to be the Aussie 1. Click here, via Levi, and there it is, and enter that temporary flight plan, and we'll go ahead and hit insert the temporary flight plan. That's going to go green. And that's our entire flight plan put in. So now with the flight plan checked, we'll go back to the init page. We'll go to fuel and load. And one thing I really like about this is they really thought about kind of making things easy for us. All we gotta do is click on 0 fuel weight and then just click enter. And it's gonna import our 0 fuel weight. And we'll hit enter again, CG, enter again for block fuel. And for passenger number, as I said, not really any passengers. We'll say like 10 people maybe on board, including crew and mechanics and various things like that. We'll enter on that, and now we'll go to takeoff performance, and this is going to make us go back to our takeoff performance page on the EFB, and we'll click on sync FMS. That'll bring our FMS data into the EFB, and it will hit sync again for the current weather conditions. It is dry. We'll take off flex temp, and with the configuration of 1+F, we'll hit compute. That'll pop up now with send to FMS. Now we can send it back to the FMS. So you saw that, like we brought the information from the FMS to the EFB, kind of calculate the data here, and then send it back to the FMS. I love how that works. We'll go down here now, hit confirm speeds, and that's really it. All we got to do for that. Gonna go to the connect page now, and here you can actually use the data link and the CPDLC stuff. So I want to see if I can get that to work. There is no ATC here in Toulouse right now. It's actually pretty early in the morning, so we're going to try using AI ATC using say intentions, and we're going to click on this drop down here and go to KUSA. That's worked for me in the past. Let's see if it works now, and we'll hit notify. So actually I switched to LFMM. I don't actually know what these identifiers mean, to be honest with you. I'm just kind of trying this out for the first time myself. But I want to see if we can get like our clearance from here. Let's see, we'll go to clearance, departure. Okay, so I think I got this figured out. So I put my departure airport here, LFBO, put my gate as 100, ATIS code is Sierra. Got my destination in there, my aircraft type. We'll hit transfer to mailbox. And that's going to put that in my mailbox. I can now hit send and request a pre-departure clearance from ATC here. Let's see if it works. Oh, we got a message. We got a message. Let's see. Departure request status. FSM, blah, blah, blah. Delta 116, request received. Being processed, stand by. All right, we'll hit close. Oh, did I lose it? Oh, is that it right there? I thought I lost a message, but looks like we just got our pre-departure clearance. Cleared to Atlanta via Laco 7 Bravo. A little bit of a different departure. Maintain 6,000. Departure on 121.105. Squawk 6654. Okay, that's freaking cool. This is the first time I've ever gotten a pre-departure clearance via the actual like plane. Alright, weather on the right screen, our QNH is 1020. We'll go ahead and dial that in here. I have mine synced, so both of them will change at the same time. 1020. Our initial altitude for this flight will be 5,000. There we go. We'll continue to get the APU started. We'll get the fuel pumps all on the top side here. and hit start on the APU. There it is, APU avail. We'll hit the APU bleed, and we are honestly just about ready for pushback. If you want, you can actually activate the checklist on here. I haven't been using it because I kind of have everything memorized, but we do have a after start, before start checklist, and so on.
Delta 116, push and start approved, face north.
Push and start approved, face north. Delta 116 heavy. Alright, cool. Push and start approved, facing north. One other cool thing I love about the A350 and A380 is if we actually move our ND controller back to zoom, we'll have this. It's going to load in our airport map. Once it loads in, there it is. You can see our departure runway. Use the controller to zoom in. Okay, so we are here. So it wants us to push back facing north, which would be Sierra 35. That'll be nose left to right. So we'll do nose left to right. And now, for the engine start, we'll go into start normal, starting with engine number 1. Crossing 32 left at Sierra 2. Got our strobe lights on for crossing the runway. Crossing the active. And as we do that, I gotta say I do like the way she handles on the ground. It's actually interesting. It doesn't feel like that heavy on the ground. As soon as you release your parking brakes, she starts rolling. And then actually maneuvering the nose wheel from left to right on the ground, like it's very responsive. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be that way or what, but it's very responsive on the ground, and so it's actually a very nice taxi, very easy. All right, switching to tower 18.1. And we're just short of 32 right. We'll get our takeoff clearance. We're ready to go. Alright, Toulouse Tower. Delta 116 Heavy is holding short 32 right, ready to go.
Delta 116, Black Knight Tower, runway 32 right, winds 135 and 7, clear for takeoff.
32 right, clear for takeoff. Delta 116 Heavy. Alright, we got our clearance received.
Airport 4906 is now fully established.
And checking the final. I do see something coming in, but I think we're good.
Clear to land.
Lane lights are on.
Air Portugal 4906, Cleveland Airport.
There we go.
Air Portugal 4906, welcome to Blind X. Contact ground on 121.9.
And we're doing a flex takeoff. We'll stand on the brakes here. We'll pull our departure on our EFB here. Right, departure out, taking off. Be a right turn back to the Toulouse VOR. And flex. There it is. Alright, dome light off. Let's get to business. Brakes release. We are rolling. Airspeed is alive. There's 80 knots. $120.
V1.
Rotate. This is right gear up. Oh yeah. Pitching up for about 15. Very nice.
Contact departure on 121.105.
Over to departure, Delta 116 Heavy. Basically straight out departure. She feels really nice to hand fly. Initially, it's a bit more sensitive than you expect, a lot more responsive, kind of like how I mentioned with the nose gear, how the nose gear is a bit more responsive than I expected it to be. In the same way, flying the aircraft is also a bit more responsive than I expected. It feels more like flying a A320 than flying an A350. There's really little to no lag in the controls. I will reach our transition level. There we go. But from what I hear, apparently that's actually how it is. So it does feel good to fly. It is very smooth though. Notice here it says D climb. That's D-rated climb. If I go over to my perf page, you'll see it's on auto D-rate. If we want a better rate of climb, we can change this from auto D-rate to climb.
Delta 116, climb flight level 240.
And that will actually put us into regular climb mode, and that'll use much more fuel power, much more engine power and thrust to get us to our selected altitude. We are now 40,000 feet above France as we head westbound across the pond. So you can see here on the Navigraph map, we're about 8 hours out from our current location, but our flight plan has us shooting up the west coast of France, just south of the UK and Ireland, and then hopping all the way up here, and we'll basically follow the east coast back down as we go feed dry into Atlanta. But yeah, about in total just under 10 hours, but about 8 hours left to go. But I want to show you guys one of my favorite features of the A350. Matter of fact, I'm a little bit obsessed with this feature. So what we're gonna do is actually hop out of the captain's seat, let the co-pilot take care of it from here, and we'll open up the door And check this out. Check this out. Check this out. I'm gonna go into the lab. Yeah. 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 And we can flush the toilets, ladies and gentlemen. It's officially study level. This is a study level A350 from now on because we can flush the toilets. Let's go. Talk about paying attention to your community. Anyways, I know it's pointless, but it was a special request of mine. You know, let's go over here. We have one of the multiple crew rest areas that's completely modeled. Even has a little bit of lighting in here. It's a little dark. Obviously looks better in the daytime, which is coming. Don't worry, we will see the sun about halfway through this flight. But here's the forward front galley. And go back here. Matter of fact, these curtains can actually be turned on and off just like that. We'll continue back here, and look at this. This looks really good at night. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to kind of do this before the sun came up, was because just how good this looks at night. Look at that, good day with the Delta branding here in first class. Might be business class. We'll continue through here. Very good modeling though. Very good modeling. All of these seats actually have their respective seat numbers. You can't click on like the overhead bins, but that's all right. We got some lighting here for each of these as well. We'll continue. We'll click on this curtain and continue to the second galley area, which is fairly dark. There might be a light I can turn on to make it brighter. I'm not really sure. But notice up ahead, you have like this little like starry look here on the panel. That's actually pretty nice. And I guess this might be business class. Pretty nice. Continue back to the back of the aircraft. So yeah, pretty nice night lighting. I like the mood lighting. I don't know how much we can actually manipulate this lighting. I may try that here in just a little bit, but very impressed. They modeled, I mean, every seat is here. I mean, come on, every seat is here. And it looks like, is this back here model, or is this another curtain? It's very dark back here. Yep. So the back galleys don't really have any lighting. There may be a way to turn those on. I'm not sure. If that was on purpose or a bug, I don't know. This is an early access version. I'll put that disclaimer out there. I don't know if that's the way it was meant to be, but overall, it's a really good looking cabin. I mean, if you get nice and close to the seats, you can see the stitching there. Fairly good quality. There's nothing to click on back here, but I mean, it's not really necessary. And then here we go to the very aft, or the back galley. There's a large one back here. Very, very large galley back here. And this is nice. This is really nice. I mean, they've modeled everything. They've modeled everything. There is an additional larger crew restroom. I just gotta find it. Matter of fact, actually, I believe it's right here. Now, I don't think this door opens, but you can walk through it. And then that'll lead you up the stairs. There's a couple of hangars there. Oh yeah, this is a nice big one right here. Again, a little dark. I do apologize for that, because it is, you know, a night flight. So the crew doesn't need it to be nice and dark. But yeah, some really nice, large crew beds in here to sleep in. Got their own little TV monitors and things like that. So pretty nice, pretty cool. They actually modeled that. A lot of developers would have skipped over that. Oh, there's even some on this side too. That's pretty nice. A lot of devs would have skipped over this. And is it necessary? No, it's not necessary. I would not, like, if they had not modeled it, I wouldn't have, like, okay, another bathroom. If they had not modeled it, I would not have really complained. I would have been like, oh, it'd be cool if you would have added the galley, like the, you know, but it doesn't make it a better plane. That's not the reason why I feel like this is one of the best planes, because it has a crew rest area. It's just kind of like things like that is what kind of just puts it on the next level. It's like they've already done all the stuff you would expect from a high fidelity aircraft, right? But then adding things like a crew rest area, flushable toilets, you know, the doors opening on the exterior, like things like that are all just icing on the cake, if you know what I mean. And it just kind of solidifies, like, hey, like, we're already the best at doing this. Let me just, you know what I'm saying, let's run up the score a little bit. So beautiful wing view as we cruise at 40K in 8 hours out, and I gotta say, this, if I'm gonna fly a long haul flight, this is the kind of plane I want to be in, right? I want to, this is comfortable. This is a vibe for sure. So anyways, 8 hours ago, as I said, now we'll head back to the, look, we even have the lighting on the bottom too. Look at that. I just now noticed that. I don't know if these work though. I mean, all these lights are kind of just on. Okay, it worked. So I hit the switch that says no mobile in the cockpit, and now you are free to use your laptops, mobile phones, and go to the flushing toilets as you see pleased. So there you go. If you don't want to spend the entire time doing the flight, this aircraft does have the ability to use what's called simulation rate, and you can actually fast forward your flight basically as high as 4x if you wanted to. So for example, our flight is about 10, just to round up to 10 hours long. If we half that by 2, it'd be a 5-hour flight. Half that again, 2.5-hour flight. So we did 4 times, this would be a 2.5-hour flight, which we could do. All you do is press up to 4x, hit time compression auto. I'll just show you here right quick. Hit auto, and there it is. Simulation rate 4x. You can also notice that our nautical miles is changing very, very quickly because we are now flying 4 times the speed of the simulation. But this does not affect our ground speed. So our ground speed is still, normal. Our fuel flow is probably going to change a little bit faster, right? Because it's simulating that we're actually doing the time just faster, right? So for those who can't spend 8, 12, 16 hours on actually doing a long haul flight, this is a good option for you. I'm going to turn it off. I usually don't like to fly with it on if I can, but I know a lot of people will see that to be very useful. So I'm going to take a break, let the co-pilot fly the aircraft, and I'll see you guys when the sun rises. Well, the sun is finally up, and we finally get a chance to see just how gorgeous this flight deck looks in the sunlight. I mean, it's like the best of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, what it has to offer here. Very great texture quality, graphics, and everything. Just, I'm very happy with the graphic fidelity of the A350 inside and out. And it's very rare that you get an aircraft that looks this good, but also functions just as good. But anyways, the sun has been up for a while, I'll admit that, but nothing interesting has happened. You haven't missed anything. We are about to reach our top of descent as we look here in our FMS. We're 12 miles away from our top of drop. And so what I'm gonna do is I've actually already set the bottom altitude for my arrival into Atlanta. I'm gonna go ahead and click up there on the altitude, and that'll put us into manage descent mode right there. And the aircraft will start descending via the vertical track that we see here on the VSD. I got my constraints turned on. Everything should work out pretty darn good. One other thing I can show you while we're descending is the special brake to vacate feature. If you have flown the A380 by fly-by-wire on Microsoft Flight Sim, you may be familiar with this function. Basically, brake to vacate is an auto brake function. Once your wheels touch down, the brakes will basically automatically brake for you in order to allow you to make it to whatever taxiway you decide. So let's go ahead and do that. To do that, and by the way, a lot of this video, a lot of parts in this video have been skipped. I have a full flight, a quick full flight tutorial going over all the steps to do a whole flight from A to B. So if you need more help, I definitely recommend going and checking out that video. I also have a dedicated brake to vacate video as well. So, but I will show you here in this video as well. First of all, we need to move our ND to plan mode like that, and then we'll move our zoom into zoom. Now that's gonna load in. It says airport not available. Okay, there we go. Now it's loading in. Only thing you need is to have an arrival airport, an arrival runway, and possibly an approach already dialed in to your FMS for this to work appropriately. Because you can see here, as we zoom a little bit farther into this airport map, it actually has 26 right already marked on there for me. And that's because that's the runway I chose in the FMS. So if you don't have that, that may not show up for you. So at the moment, we're still expecting runway 26 right. And what we want to do is we want to kind of set a brake to vacate. So I'm going to click on this double arrow. And I really shouldn't have to do this because it's already kind of pre-put in my airport for me. If you do not have Navigraph charts, you'll click on landing, and here you'll put, you know, dry or wet, and then you'll basically say, hey, this is the amount of meters I want my aircraft to stop in. So runway 26 right is 2,700 meters long, and maybe you could pick, like, I don't know, 2,000 or 1,800, I don't know, whatever you want to put there. You could also get that from like your performance page and things like that. But if you do have Navigraph, you can go to the airport select. It should automatically put your destination here. If it has not, you can choose it on the right from the airports that you have in your FMS, and then click on display airport. In my case, it's already here, so we don't have to worry about that. But I'm gonna go here, and we'll see if we can zoom in one more time, and we'll move this guy. So this is the runway we're landing on, and you'll see right here it says dry. So that's basically saying, hey, this is like kind of like where we want to brake if it's in the dry, and then we have the wet. So this is where we want to brake if it's wet, and both of them are just fine. It's gonna be dry for us. There's no rain. I'm gonna go ahead and click on B5. That's the first taxiway after both the dry and the wet line, and if I select that, highlights blue, pops up, says set BTV exit. So we'll say, hey, I want to take that exit, and that way the aircraft is going to brake at the best force it needs to actually allow us to exit at Bravo 5 safely. Now, if we wanted to save the brakes, we could do B3 or B1 or do full length, but I'm not too concerned about the brakes, you know, wearing out too fast. So we'll do B5. Hopefully that I explained that well. I honestly think I explained it better in my actual tutorial, but whatever. So that's 26 right. That's brake to vacate. Only one other step we need to do to actually activate that, and that is to go over here to the auto brake. Click on auto brake, and now we see on our ND BTV in blue, which means it is armed. So that's it. That is all we got to do for brake to vacate. And to come out of this, we can bring this back to arc or zoom out like that. So cool. All right, as you can see here on our ND, we're basically on about a 10-mile right base for runway 26 right. But one thing I did want to mention that I actually almost forgot to mention was the inspiration behind this Delta delivery flight. If you guys are new to the channel, I've been doing a what's called a pilot's life virtual airline career mode series thing, where I basically go and I fly for various airlines, and I try to work my way up to fly for, you know, better planes with better airlines using the pilot's life application. And we were flying for United for a while, really enjoyed it, but I really want to fly the A350, and so I went and I applied for a bunch of airlines that fly A350s, including Emirates and this and that, and ended up being Delta was the one that actually hired me to fly for them. I got my A350 certificate and license, and I'm now a pilot with Delta, so this is kind of like my first job for them, by kind of doing this delivery flight to Delta. So we'll be seeing me flying the Delta A350 a bunch in the future. I believe we got flights going to places like South Africa and all over the world, so looking forward to taking this plane out and flying it all over the world with Delta. So that's kind of the inspiration behind doing this delivery flight. It's kind of like a welcome to Delta style flight, and like I said, really looking forward to doing it.
Delta 116, proceed direct Bamboo. Cleared for the ILS runway 26 right approach.
Cleared direct Bamboo and clear for the ILS 26 right approach, Delta 116. Alright, we're already on course. We're making our right final turn to meet the localizer. And VNAV, everything's working perfectly.
Delta 5128 traffic at your 11 o'clock 5 miles. At flight level 4,000 feet, type unknown.
1,000.
All right, here we go. We are 4.5 miles out. Flaps are full. Spoilers are armed. Auto brake is set and on. Brake to vacate is armed. Clearance has been received. We are clear to land. Here we go. We are set up for basically an auto land scenario here, but because it's a nice clear day and
Runway 26 right.
auto land is boring, we're gonna turn off the autopilot
Contact departure.
and we'll land it ourselves. A little bit of wind, just about 4 knots, 3 knots coming from left to right. Very slight as we fly over the parking lot into Atlanta Hartsfield. Again, we'll be parking at the Tech Ops Center. Off to the left, that big white building to the left is where we're going.
400.
Alright, do our best to see here. I'll stay on the slope.
300.
We're fairly light, there's no passengers on board. So have to watch out for the float here. Watch out for the float here.
200.
Here we come.
100 above.
Little low, but we're alright.
100. Minimum 50, 40, 30, 20,
Hold it.
10,
Oh, butter. There's a nose, reverse thrust, and I think this is our taxiway right here. And brake to vacate did its thing.
Delta 116, welcome to Atlanta.
I tapped the brakes to disconnect the brake to vacate.
Delta 1236, welcome to Atlanta. Contact ground on 121.65.
Over the ground, Delta 116.
121.7.
At Atlanta ground, Delta 116 is clear of 26 right at Bravo 6, holding short 26 left, request taxi to Delta Tech Ops. Alright, there's Tech Ops over on the right. We'll get the APU started up.
225, squad 5552.
And I've always seen this building, like
The latest 6 Romeo Bravo.
taxiing out to the runway, landing, but I've never actually been here, so pretty cool to actually do a flight where I actually end up at the Delta Tech Ops building. Look at that massive hangar right there. Oh, there's only one way in here. Only one way in here, so let's be careful not to hit the wings on either side.
Ground of Atlanta class, Bravo airspace, to cancel 3 departure, then is file. Climb and maintain 4,000, expect 15,000, 10 minutes after departure.
Alright, we made it, and I'll call that a job complete. But there's one more thing I want to show you guys. But first, let's shut the engines down. Alright, the engines are shut down, and we've been towed to our parking spot. And as I said, there's one more thing I want to show you guys, and that's in the maintenance screen. Because as you fly the aircraft, you know, your fluids will go down. And as you can see here, after a 9 or so hour flight, look how much oil we used. I mean, we were like almost full, and now we have only 8 quarts or so. Hydraulic fluid has gone down as well. Even our APU has gone through another cycle. I don't see any issues with our brakes, and our battery percentages are looking okay, looking good. We can even open up our hydraulic panel from here. We can open up our fuel panel from here. We could deploy or stow the rat. I wouldn't recommend doing that. We could also open and close our left and right engines, which I'm gonna do because I want to check out to see if we can see our oil quantity on the engines. Let's hop out real quick and we'll check with Raul, who was actually here with us on the flight on the way here. And he warned us that on long flights like this, this A350 runs through oil pretty quick. And let's see, we had 8 quarts on there. And yeah, it has, I believe, gone down because it was, I think, much higher than this when we left from France. So yeah, that's kind of the one last thing I want to show you, is that the aircraft does kind of, you do have to think about refueling it. Now, one thing I'm wondering, and I don't know yet, I have to confirm this after my next flight, but is all this, like, is it gonna save the state of our oil? So when I go and I fly this plane again in my next flight, are we gonna start from where I left off now with the oil quantities, the tire wear, the brake wear, all the different wear and tear systems? Are they going to continue to be persistent for every flight, or is it going to just start over? Which is the main problem I have with a lot of planes who try to put wear and tear systems in their planes, is that it's like, oh, that's all cool, but you load up the plane again, it's a brand new plane. So hopefully when we go fly again, it'll be, as I said, it'll continue. But man, this A350 was a lot of fun to fly. This video probably went a little longer than I wanted it to go, but really enjoyed flying it. I hope I showed off everything you guys want to see, and I can't wait for you guys to fly it yourself. And I'm looking forward to flying it again. I really enjoy flying it. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, you have 3 choices: give up, give in, or give it all you got. Peace, love, and God bless you. I will see you guys next time, next video. I'm gonna go take this aircraft on its next flight. You try to put wear and tear systems in their planes, is that it's like, oh, that's all cool, but you load up the plane again, it's a brand new plane. So hopefully when we go fly again, it'll be, as I said, it'll continue. But man, this A350 was a lot of fun to fly. This video probably went a little longer than I wanted it to go, but really enjoyed flying it. I hope I showed off everything you guys want to see, and I can't wait for you guys to fly it yourself. And I'm looking forward to flying it again. I really enjoy flying it. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, you have 3 choices: give up, give in, or give it all you got. Peace, love, and God bless you. I will see you guys next time, next video. I'm gonna go take this aircraft on its next flight.